Hey everyone, this is ZeroPrime here, and welcome to a Let's Play of Home. Now, this game was available on sale very cheap on PlayStation Network, so I figured, why not try it out? And yeah, I have tried to do a recording of this, but for some reason my recorder froze and kind of had to start over again. So originally I thought this might be like a short game, because it is an indie horror game. But basically here, yeah, start over. Okay, I would recommend you put aside an hour and a half. So basically, it might be a very long game, but basically when I edit this out, you'll see this in segments. And I'm playing this late at night as I'm not feeling tired, so should be interesting. All right, turn up the sound. Not too loud. Okay, there we go. All I remembered at that point was finding myself alone. Oh, oh my head. Where was I? It was so dark. There was something by my feet. A flashlight. Okay, so... that house. Where was I? There was a body lying on the floor. Who was it? Yeah, it was about when I... It was about 15 minutes in when I realized that the recorder wasn't working, so... Okay, nothing here. This had a computer with some papers on it, and a single drawer. I didn't want to snoop, but did I open the drawer? Receipts, pens, and a blurry photo. Looked like a store of some kind. Why did this look so familiar? Apparently, depending on your actions, the ending of the game will be different, but like I said, I only got 15 minutes into it, so I don't really know. Blood on the wall. It smelled fresh and sickening. I realized there was blood on my shoes and pants. Oh man, I had to get out of there. Yeah. Okay, so I'm looking around. Oh, I didn't recognize his face. He was still kind of warm. Okay, nothing else here. Okay. Checking to make sure I haven't missed anything. I noticed that I limped as I moved down the stairs. How did I hurt my leg, I wondered. All I could really recall was coming home, seeing Rachel. I was upset. She looked afraid. I shook my head and tried to clear it. I knew I should head downstairs, try to find a way out. Okay. The shelf was full of books on local history and hunting. Seemed like the owner of the house really knew the area. Might be your house. The heck was that? An old dining table covered in dirty dishes for two people. There were dozens of beer cans and other liquor bottles among the dishes. The smell was turning my stomach. A black and white photo looked like the man upstairs and his wife, I guess. There was no reason for me to keep this. Did I take it? I slipped the photo into my pocket. Maybe this would help me find some answers. Let me check that. Maybe this might change something. The man's face looked the man in the photo I have found. Okay. I really should have been going through the stuff. Alright. What's on the other side? A thin gray mouse was stuck in the trap, looked frantic but exhausted. Oh yeah. Go, little fella, run free. A collection of rusty tools that looked like they were seeing a lot of use and were caked in damp smelling dirt. Why weren't they in the shed? The photo's similar to the old one I picked up. It's been moved a lot. There seems to be a switch behind it. As I pressed moving into the wall, I heard a faraway click somewhere. Something must have opened somewhere. Okay, that's it for that, so... It looked like hell. My clothes were dirty and torn, and there was mud caked all over my shoes. The bathroom was spotless. Everything had been wiped to a sheen. I wonder if it was the man's wife who did the cleaning or him. There was a photo developing tray lying on the floor. Some leftover negatives were sticking out, but they were pretty blurry. I thought I saw what looked like treetops. What does that mean? The front door was blocked by a pile of furniture. I knew I had to find another way out. Oh, that scared me. Tape was stuck up and seemed to be taped up and seemed to be stuck. By the smell, I guess it led to the kitchen. Well, there was a collection of tools. This was another place to keep yard tools. I wonder what they've been used here for. Well, pick up a shovel or a rake. Something to cut the board and everything. Okay, so the lines were gray. That means I already explored them. Okay. Oh, jeez. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Huh. Okay, then. I guess I... Whoop. What the... There was a sheet of paper all over the kitchen table. It looked like a series of names were written down that were too smudged to read. I can only make out a few of the notes. Keycard, locker, last one, I promise. It didn't make much sense at the time. Huh. No other comment? The box looked heavy, but there were marks on the floor. It had obviously been moved before. Maybe I found a way out? Let's move. Yep. I heaved the box forward and it finally gave. There was a ladder going on the ground, but what the box was. A dank smell rose from the passage. Did I climb down the ladder? I looked again at the photo I found in the house, and the couple looked distant, like they didn't want to be in the same picture. I wondered where the wife was. My leg was in terrible shape. I had to get out. Footprints in the dirt. Looked like more than one kind and a lot of traffic. Places all over were marked on the old map of the town, the industrial area near the river, various houses, and even the water tower near the old rail station. Newspaper clippings from local papers that were all about murders in the town over the last few years. Wait. There were photos of our house. What the hell was that about? Maybe I should have looked around more, tried to find some kind of information. Ah, well. Can't go back up now. A work table covered in papers, dirt, and a handgun. I hate guns. I tucked the small handgun in my pocket. Its weight was somehow reassuring. Well, you never know. It was all dark down there, and the air smelled stale and putrid. I couldn't believe what I saw. What was this place? The desk looked old, and it was caked with grime. On it was a stack of old, faded paper covered with what looked like names. They were scratched out and illegible. Notes were written beside them in faded blue ink. I could only make out a few letters. Heave, hill, F, O, row. None of it made any sense to me. There looked to be bones, half dug into the ground, and their remains looked old. The faded clothes that stuck up amongst the dirt looked familiar. They looked like the clothes that the woman was wearing in the photo I found. Was this the man's wife? Ugh. Some kind of homemade rack, sledged together with poorly cut wood and rope. It was caked with old blood. Somebody didn't actually use that, did they? Crudely made shelves, they looked like they were holding cans of some kind of corrosive. The labels were worn and slick, but I could still see the warnings. It looked like a cage. It was small, but there was something coated with something coating the bottom, something wet. Don't want to know. Some kind of old boxes. They looked like they were years old. Wait a minute. These boxes have old clothes in them. Clothes I remember throwing out after Rachel and I moved to town. What the hell were they doing there? Oh, it's just bats. I remember noticing the broken ladder. I had to be careful. I hear that. There was a rope hanging there. I wasn't sure how sturdy it was. Maybe the rope would make the broken ladder easier to descend. Moving on. I had the rope now. Okay. The rope I found would have let me climb down the broken ladder. Yep. I could hear a faint hum and the smell from before started to get worse. A bunch of old newspapers weaved plastic together. A message had been hastily smeared on it. Keep out. Danger due to cave-in. I could still feel the faint impression on the rope I had slid down as I pressed against the heavy metal door. It was probably for the best that I didn't jump. The ache in my legs was bad enough as it was. If I could have, though, I would have ran straight out of those awful tunnels. Who would keep such a place? At least I thought I had found that old handgun. It seemed to work, and from the smell of it, it's already been used. Or used already. I kept the gun in my pocket. It seemed a familiar weight there. There was dirt on the ground, it looked wet, and there was grass smeared within it. Disgusting, it was a mess of filthy garbage bags. There was rips and tears in most of the bags. What looked like an old videotape was sticking out. I wasn't sure when I had to help discover the tape, but I took it anyway. Okay. I could hear a faint trickling sound like water. What was that? Kitchen knife covered in drying blood. Thinking about it made me sick. I didn't even want to touch it. I slipped the knife into my boots as I had a gun in my pocket. Did I really need all of this? Again, you never know. Let's keep looking. The door was locked. There was a musty smell inside. I wasn't sure, but I thought it was some kind of regulator. I had no idea how it worked. I wasn't sure what those valves were for. Did I turn it anyway? Okay. Yep. Whatever these fellas did, this one wasn't pumping water anymore. Oh, okay. I have to keep turning them until they don't turn anymore. Okay. There we go. Well, hang on. Oh, I could see. Okay. Turning those funds might have drained the water that was in this room. There's a ladder I could reach. Ah, smart move. The safety poster had definitely seen better days. How old was that facility? So it's locked. I found another dead body, a sewer worker. By the wounds all over his face and body, I figured he'd been stabbed repeatedly. There was a key wire sticking out of this man's pocket. I thought about the knife I had with me, so disgusting and carefully picked up the keys from his pocket. Oh, sorry. I had thought about the knife I had found with some disgust as I carefully picked the keys from his pocket. I was almost worried he was going to grab me. Okay. There was a hint of fresh air in here. I must have needed an exit, but I wonder, what did that key I found on the sewer do? Let's head back real quick. Let's head back real quick. There was a locked door here somewhere. Oh, here we go. A collection of stale liquor bottles covered the floor. The wall was littered with dozens of old faded papers. Whoever did this was obsessed with some local murders. According to some of the clippings, bodies have been found in ravines and in the forest, and in one case, dumped in the back of an abandoned truck. I couldn't be sure, but I thought some of these same articles had been passed up and back up in this old tunnel. A faded receipt was hand trapped on the ground. It was from the local train station. It was for 2 tickets. I didn't know what it could be, but did I keep it? Yeah. I neatly folded the solid receipt and slid it into my front pocket. Okay, was there any other locked door? No. Okay. Screw you. That made me jump a bit. Oh, hello. The shelf was full of security tapes strictly organized, though covered in dust. Looked like the tape I found was one that was missing from the shelf. There was a dusty VCR on the security desk. I wonder what this on the tape. Okay. Oh no, the video showed a man right there in the sewers being attacked. The tape looked fuzzy and stretched like someone had tampered with it. Looked like there could have been 2 men. Oh boy. Did I go in here? Yeah, I have. Would I need that gun or knife before the end? Both weight made me down as I aggravated my legs as I climbed the old ladder. The thought of that videotape gave me chills. Who was it that didn't want to be seen? Was it the same person that hid all those clippings away in that locked room? Suddenly the awful smell of that sewer gave way to a pine-scented blast of fresh air. Squeaky door. I saw that. I tried the little key I had fished down in Muggy Pond. It fit. The wind was picking up a bit. The night air had become strangely chilly. Hang on, let me explore here real quick. This must have been the entrance to the forest that was mentioned on the map I seen. Whoever was poking around in those tunnels underneath the man's house was scribbled notes about this place, but I couldn't take them out. Here's a sign pointing out the various campsites and walking paths within the woods. You mentioned the river and maybe a washroom, but the rest was too faded to see clearly. Okay, so let's head back to the other way. Again, I see those eyes. The old train station was quiet as a tomb. The only sound was that of the increasing wind baffling the decrepit structure. Okay. An old ticket booth that looked fairly ruined. Inside the ticket windows were sheets of paper and... Wait, what are these? Train receipts? I thought the receipt I had picked up that matched these, but of course not. The station has been closed for years. The tickets must have been for the newest station that opened up on the other side of town after this one was abandoned. However, I noticed a series of fresh-looking paper covered in tiny notes scribbled in diagrams. Huh. The old man McLay's and cast hung on the wall. It was the train routes connected to that old station. As I looked at it, it seemed familiar. Of course, the map I found in those tunnels had similar locations marked, and those notes I found on the other man's bookshelf. His notes mentioned the water tower and even this train yard. What was he doing coming back here? The old train was ripped open, hanging on the shred of metal, as well as a broken fence, a sock-stained patch of cloth. It looked synthetic, like some kind of outerwear. Inside the train shell, I could see a few faint impacts like wounds. Could they have been bullet marks? Was somebody shot there? The ground was well worn, though I couldn't really make out anything. I realized I was touching the gun I had found as I fought. Okay. So that's it for there. Okay. Alright, here we go. Though the fence I could see a developed other being. I wonder if I can find my way around. Am I even going the right way? There was a fire pit there. It was still a bit warm and a few embers still burned at the bottom. Two folding chair cans were on the ground. One was knocked over. There was a couple of cans of beer spilled on the ground. Cheap dome tent slept two people. I shoved my flashlight so I could see some bedrolls, two backpacks in the cooler. No, no, no. The grimy sink had a small patch that looked almost clean. Musty wooden plank propped on a stone wall didn't seem useful. Eh, why not? I wasn't sure why, but I took the plank. You never know. You never know. The sign was the same as the first one I'd seen. This must have been the exit to the other side of the woods. I finally found the exit. Once I left, I knew I never wanted to turn there. Finding that campsite had been strangely unsettling. I couldn't imagine why anyone would abandon their site in the middle of the night, especially in that dark forest. I was relieved at least to finally be out of there. Even now, as I peered through the dense trees, I could see some cracks of light and a bit of light beyond. I must have been getting closer to town, but where exactly was I? And so far, nothing happened. As I stepped through the gate, I suddenly recognized the auto parts factory where I had worked as a machinist for all those years. The plant had closed almost 3 years ago now. Times were better then. I thought I could hear a faint rustling behind me. Maybe it was just the wind. None of the victim. I took it from his uniform that he was a security guard there, just doing his job. His head had been severely beaten and his face was covered with blood. Dug into the ground was a cracked old watch. It was mine. I bought it on a trip west with Rachel. I barely went a day without wearing it. It didn't look like it worked anymore. It was heavy. Yep. Even though it had no longer ran, it collapsed the watch around my wrist. One of the lockers hung open. Its contents were tossed around like someone had been looking for something. The door was locked shut, and there was a little electronic box under the handle. A sign had pasted to the front. Danger, closed for repairs. There was a large power box with 5 lights on it. Cables burst out of the box, snaking off to the parts of the factory. The middle was starting to wear, and cobwebs had collected over the covers. The box wasn't receiving power. Go up. Every part of this plant smelled old and rotted. I noticed an old bulletin board on the wall. The board contains yellow clippings of newspaper, cartoons, and notices. There were notes too, and from the guys that worked here. One of them was a Norman, who was one of the older guys on the line. The power panel looked like it shut off. Yep. The open locker was stuffed with dirty work clothes and old boots. There was a photo of a woman taped inside, but it was scratched out, and the face was unrecognizable. Yep. Oh. There we go.